this topic today for this live online chat will cover the benefits of plant-based yogic vegan diet or vegetarian diet, which doesn't include the vegan diet, no animal products or dairy. There's so many benefits. I've just touched upon a few, from weight loss to healthier joints and organs, less risk for heart disease, reversing perhaps disease or chronic illness conditions. There's also benefits to yogic diet, of course, not even a benefit, but to the animals, right? Why we don't kill living beings if we're not eating them. We're not supporting an industry that's cruel and keeping animals captive. So there's so many benefits, and now you can watch a lot of documentaries now. They're even showing that so many sustainable, friendly things we can do for the earth, such as not using as much plastic, not driving as much. But some people say the number one sustainable thing we can do for the earth is not eating animals, because we're not raising them for food. When you're not raising animals for food, you're not taking away the land and the resources and the water to feed the crops that go to the animals. So you can reduce your impact on the earth also by stopping eating the animals. But the yogis were vegetarian way back, not just for the physical health of the body, but also for the quality of the mind. So if you're meditating every day, you may start to notice if you shift your diet to more plant-based vegetables and fruits and some whole grains and less processed and definitely less dead foods like dead animal or dead fish. You may see a difference as well in the quality of your mind and meditation, perhaps in your sleep. Your digestion can improve for sure. So there's so many benefits. The yogis wanted a peaceful mind, a healthy body, and to live in harmony with all living beings. Compassion for the animals. Compassion. All animals are like us. They have families and friends and babies and don't want to suffer like us. They feel physical pain, and no one wants to live in a cage and in cramped conditions to be slaughtered. So to me, it's a win-win-win for everyone to not eat the animals, for your health, for the earth, for some also for weight, and also for the environment. So this is a Q&A live online talk. So a great question, Angie, you had about, and I will get to all your questions if I didn't yet. So for bone health, I actually just read something, I think it was from Dr. Hyman, or one of kind of usually more plant-based. He was showing, and I just posted on my Sunlight Yoga page on Facebook the other day, that actually the best sources of calcium is not milk like we think. So if you don't want to harm the baby cows and take away the mom's milk, you can actually get calcium from greens and other sources. And he was showing how broccoli, thank you, Michael, dark leafy greens have calcium, and there's other sources that are actually better. In fact, some studies have shown that you can actually deplete the calcium, not improve it, by eating the dairy milk for the bones. So I think a lot of this is a myth that's taught to us from the animal agriculture and dairy industry, because they want to make profit. The same way that they want us to drink the mom's cow milk. So they force the cows to get pregnant and have babies. And they take the babies away the first day they're born. And the mom cows and the babies are hysterical, crying and suffering, and it's horrific. And then they put the baby cows in these tiny little crates where they can't move around, called the veal crate. And they do that so they can't form muscle. So the meat is soft, because 2 weeks later, these are male baby cows that aren't going to produce milk, which is profit for the industry. So the male baby cows then they called veal. They created a new meat just because they can't use the milk from the male cow. So it's very cruel industry, and you don't need it for calcium. So if you do the research, and nutritionfacts.org is a great site from a plant-based doctor that talks about, he has all the studies on the calcium, how you can get it from plant-based better than dairy. So if you go to, I'll let him give you the info. So after this talk, go to nutritionfacts, I'll write it in the chat.org. Dr. Michael Greger, who wrote How Not to Die, and he probably has all the research studies on why calcium is better from plant-based sources and not depleting versus what we're told that you need it from cow's milk. It actually makes sense. We wouldn't drink from your you wouldn't drink, if your dog had a puppy, would you drink take the puppy away from the dog the day it's born, put it in a crate, which you'll then send to slaughter 2 weeks later for someone else to eat the puppy, and then drink the milk from your dog. So that's what we're literally doing with the cows. If you really think about it, it's completely insane, right? It's cruel, it's horrific. So the yogic diet was vegetarian, but because of this cruelty with the milk, and because you can get a full, healthy, nutritious diet without the dairy or meat, because of that, now, like myself, 8 years ago, I shifted from lifelong vegetarian to vegan. Many yogis prefer vegan for real ahimsa nonviolence. So many people come into this diet to learn healthy eating for various reasons. Some don't want to kill animals, just like we would in our dog. What's the difference for a baby cow? It's all society and what media and animal agriculture has trained and ingrained parents and grandparents, and commercials that are fake showing animals free in the fields when 99% of animals in USA are actually in cages in horrific conditions. So the more you educate, I find the easiest way to shift a healthier plant-based eating is to think of the baby animals and the animals. None of us really want to be like cruel, mean human beings killing and creating suffering for sweet baby animals and their moms or dads, right? So if we think of the animals, for me, that's the easiest way. I don't want the cheese. I rather vegan cheese. There's so many substitutes now. You can get cashew and organic cashew-based or coconut-based cheeses, vegan cheese. There's so many out there now. It's become so easy to shift to plant-based. So, and I will lead you through a few-minute mindful eating meditation in a moment, but just to make sure we get to your questions, Bonnie says, your Christian friend keeps saying God put cows on the planet to feed us. I don't agree, but how do you respond? Your thoughts? People can look to the Bible and any source you want, and you could probably give an argument for either side. There's also in the Bible and other verses talking about supporting vegetarianism. I personally am not concerned with what any text says or what any person says. I know that if I was in the room with a sweet cow, not only would that cow not attack me, but that cow would not want me to take a knife, slit its throat, cook it, and then eat it. Nor would I want to, nor would people want to. But they buy it prepackaged in fancy wrap with commercials that show a free cow, if that makes sense. So they do it, but they're not the one killing the cow usually. So for me, regardless of what text says, because people can always find reasons. A human being, a man eating a cow, somewhere said God put the animals on the earth to eat. Vegetarians will also say, yeah, but look at these verses from the Bible, and we want love and compassion, and Jesus talked about compassion, so why would we want to kill animals? And maybe at certain parts of history or environments, they had nothing to eat but animals. But in our modern age, within the town you live, can you eat fruit, nuts, vegetables, and grains? Do you have to eat animals to survive? Not only that, we can get all the nutrients we need and better for the heart, not giving us cholesterol, which will cause heart disease and many cancers by not eating the animals. Even if you don't have land and access to markets, you can sprout. I've been sprouting mung beans and beans. You get quite a lot of nutrients from sprouting. So there's a lot you can do. And yeah, Bonnie, your friend has an opinion. Yeah, I don't tell people what to do. I just share my experience. I feel I don't want to harm living beings. I don't want to put physical or captive suffering on a cow or take the babies away, because they do cry and they have emotions like humans. I don't want to harm living beings. I want to cause the least amount of harm I can. So I share from my experience so people don't feel judged or attacked. Because like I grew up eating eggs, and which wasn't part of the yogic diet, but my parents didn't become vegetarian till before they were pregnant. My mom was pregnant with me. So they grew up eating meat, and when they shifted, my mom was worried with the B12. Now I just take a supplement. I don't eat the eggs. So she did have us eating eggs, and we had dairy. We were yogic vegetarian diet, lacto-ovo. So now I'm vegan. I don't want the eggs. It's so cruel, and the dairy. So again, everyone comes to phases of how we eat in alignment with compassion or what's best on the health at our own timing and our own awareness. So I don't judge it, but at the same time, there's no leeway and slack for the animal's sake. If an animal's going to die for someone's meal, just one meal, a cow, there's no justification or argument in the world that the cow's going to care about if they just want to live and be free, like all of us, right? So there's so many angles you can take this with. I think the yogic diet's beneficial, win-win-win. And yes, Michael says homemade cashew-based cheese is simple and most delicious. Nice. I haven't made the homemade cheese, but I buy so many sweet brands, Miyoko's. I just made vegan pizza with Daya cheese, a little processed, not as good for you, but better than the dairy. So, I limit how much I have it. And I put that with fresh basil and oregano from my friend's garden and tomato sauce you can do a cauliflower crust if you don't want the bread crust. You can make delicious vegan food. Yeah, and Louise, you're in Wales, UK, welcome. And you say there's a lot of sheep there and they're baby lambs, which are so sweet, right? And when you walk by them, they make so much noise because they're worried you're coming for their lambs, right? Because the mothers want to protect the babies like humans. You say they must be so sad when the lambs are taken away. Not only sad, the cows I know and the animals, they literally cry. People say animals don't have voices. Yes, they do, but they're not our native tongue. They make emotional noises and they cry and they grieve for their dying, and they most completely are intelligent. In fact, compared to humans killing animals when we don't need to, sometimes I think animals are more intelligent. So definitely thank you for sharing that. And Sarah, the high blood pressure issue too, I just want to get back to you. You mentioned about plant-based diet. Plant-based diet has been shown to definitely alleviate high blood pressure issues. It's without a doubt. When you're not eating animal products, you are not getting cholesterol and clogging the arteries. I was a stress management specialist for a well-known heart disease reversal program for the last 3 years, worked with over 10 cohorts of people came in with heart attacks or high blood pressure or both, and watched them improve by shifting to vegan or vegetarian. So for sure. So how do we shift is the question now. So let's do a few minute meditation. So we know maybe it's better for us, or some of us different opinions, but you can get iron from dark greens and raisins, and you can get all the nutrients like the animals that are the strongest in the world, rhinos, gorillas, elephants. They get their nutrients from plants. They're vegan. So think of the size of an elephant and a rhino and a gorilla and their strength. So why do humans say, oh, but I can't go vegetarian, I'll be weak? The gorilla is much stronger than us, and the elephant, and they're eating leaves and grass all day. They are vegan, not even vegetarian. They don't eat dairy, right? So most definitely we can get strength and energy. I have so much energy just talking about this because I'm, eat my vegan diet and I feel great. So let's do a few minute meditation to create some goals or visions or check in with what we're doing with our diet, because it affects our health. It affects our meditation. I meditate every day. It really can affect your meditation, less sluggishness. If you're eating, the yogis don't want tamas, dulling. In Ayurveda, in Sanskrit, tamas is dulling. Meat is dulling. Plants and vegetables are sattvic. I'll put it in the chat box. Sattvic is pure, a pure yogic diet, pure for calm mind and a healthy body. So the yogis were doing the diet as well to support their meditation. So let's try a brief check-in. So let's close your eyes. You can sit tall if you're at your computer. Just sit tall. If you're at home and want to sit on the ground cross-legged, that might feel nice. So you're welcome to do that. And just take a few slow, deep breaths in and out through the nose. So when we start meditation, we want to establish a comfortable posture. Sit tall and alert. If you can, head over spine. I didn't mention it, but I've been teaching yoga over 25 years. So I do this every day and meditate. This isn't just rattling off directions, but it works. So as we now sit tall, we first got our posture set. And this is just for general meditation, not just for eating habit meditations. Next thing is we want to slow the breath down or deepen the breath, or just become aware of breath. So start with a longer breath in and out through the nose. You may want to sit taller as you inhale. Perhaps relax your shoulders as you exhale. You can always roll the shoulders if your shoulders feel tight. And I just taught my weekly chair yoga for Zoom. I teach, you can do all these poses at your desk or in a chair. Just roll your shoulders, maybe shake the head out. And for today's mindful eating meditation, we're going to place one hand on the stomach, one hand on the upper chest. And with your eyes closed, breathing slow and deep, sitting still, just sense your stomach. First, just notice if you're full or hungry or where you're at with your eating, because we're all in different parts of the world on this online live chat. So some are nighttime, some morning, some midday, like me in California. So check in. Did you eat? Are you hungry? Check in with your energy level now. This could be related to what we eat. Sometimes we think it's not enough sleep or stress, but if we're eating heavy processed foods and cheeses and dairy and animal products, the digestion has to work harder and often gives us sluggishness. We might get quick energy from processed or sugar foods, but then after you crash. So start to tune in. How's your energy level? And if you're not sure, if you're not as energized as you like or feeling as calm as you like, start to shift. Eat more vegetables, less processed. See how you feel. You can go cold turkey, no pun intended, stop eating the turkeys, or you may want to start one day a week eating only vegan or vegetarian. See how you feel the next day and build from there. And then keep your hand on the stomach, one on upper chest. We'll just do one more reflection now. So check in if you have any goals for your weight or health or eating habits. Could be for the animals, could be for your health, whatever that is, or the earth. Just check in. Do you have any goals that you want to shift for more harmony and health for yourself, less harming other beings? And just bring it to your awareness, knowing that every meal is an opportunity to take one step towards that goal. And then we'll do an affirmation silently to end this brief reflection, mindful eating meditation. Just silently repeat, I am healthy. I eat in alignment with harmony and vitality. You can make up your own. That's just an idea. I'm not sure that was even the best English, but I eat in harmony with my health and harmony with all beings. Or you can make up your own, depending what your goal. Sometimes we also eat too much, and even I do that, emotional eating or just habit. So it's also how much we eat, not just what we eat, sometimes when we eat. So just check in with your goal. Know that we may not be perfect and we might mess up a lot of the time with the eating, but we just do our best. Every meal is another opportunity to try again. And then now with eyes closed, last thing, breathe into your stomach. So you push your belly out on inhale, like a balloon expanding. As you exhale, relax the stomach. 3 more times. Inhale, expand the stomach on inhale, like a balloon expanding. Relax on exhale. And honor yourself for just tuning in to this healthy eating, plant-based yogic diet talk today, just to give yourself more ideas to shift towards better habits. And you're welcome to stay in meditation longer. That was more of a little reflection meditation. And I just want to make sure I get to everyone's Q&A chat. I didn't get to Yash's question, which is, they're all useful questions. I appreciate all your questions. Yash says, what if the cow is treated properly and respectfully and not slaughtered? Can we drink milk then? So if you have your own cow and you're not harming it, when I think about it, which I didn't growing up because I drank milk when we were vegetarian, I wasn't vegan then. And by the way, my father's 81 and he's vegan for like 9 or 10 years. He's 50 plus years vegetarian first. Even his dog is vegan. His dog's thriving, Da Vinci, who Da Vinci in real history was a vegetarian too. So my feeling, I don't want to drink another animal's milk. The thing is, why would you drink a cow's baby's milk, but you wouldn't your dog's puppy's milk? What's the difference? Society, culture, parents, industry, profit, right? Maybe in some parts of the world and history, that was the only food they had. But in your area, can you get plant-based milk, almond milk, cashew milk, rice milk? If you can't buy it, can you make your own from almonds? If there's other alternatives, why steal the milk from a cow? And there's a plant-based doctor, Dr. Clapper, I think he runs a health center up by me in Northern California. I love it how he once, I think it was in Cowspiracy documentary, he said, a cow's milk is baby cow growth fluid or something like that to get into the size of a cow. The mama cow is giving the baby cow milk so it can grow into the size of the regular cow. But we're humans. Do we want to be the size of a cow? I like how he says that. There's a few reasons around it. So if that answers it, but I'm not going to tell you what to do, but does that answer it a bit? I know Ayurveda, they were heavy on the milk and dairies. But you can substitute it now, even if you're doing the rituals from yoga. I mean, I'm an ashram-based yoga teacher. I learned from the ashram. So even if you're doing the rituals where we sometimes pour milk over the deities, let's use almond milk. Why kill the baby cows? If you learn about it, like in USA, 99% of animals are raised in factory farms. That means the milk you're getting 99% of the time, even if it says organic, they're killing the baby cows. They're stealing the cows the day they're born. They're holding these cows in these horrific cages with electric machines attached to them to pump milk all day and forcibly impregnate them again and again and again. So they keep giving birth and they keep stealing their milk. And then when they can't get pregnant anymore forcibly, they're killed and sent to slaughter. So the dairy is harming. And if you have your own cow, the one cow, maybe that's a different story. I still don't want the cow's milk any more than I want my dog's milk anymore. I don't have a dog, but does that make sense? But you have to do what works for you. And Michael, you asked what Ayurvedic cookbook I recommend. There's one I really like. I'll type it in, called a Yoga Cookbook by Shivananda Yoga Centers. It's vegan and vegetarian. It's on Amazon, I'm sure. That's the ashram lineage I trained in 95. I like that one because it teaches you not just about the recipes, but it talks a little bit in the beginning about how we want our food to be appealing and colorful and nutritious and appealing to the eye. And I think it talks a little bit about why the yogis want this sattvic diet, about the Ayurvedic aspects, not just to not eat animals, but we want nutritious foods. So that's one of them. You can get plenty of free recipes. I think forksandknives.com online. Go to their website. They have thousands of recipes for free if you don't want to buy the cookbooks too. And then what other cookbooks? The book by Michael Greger, How Not to Die. He has a cookbook. And How Not to Diet by Dr. Greger. And that's got great plant-based all vegan recipes. So I hope that helps a bit. I put it in the chat box. And if anyone has any others, please type it in. But there are options to get millions, not thousands, of vegan recipes. I actually just wrote an article and put it on my blog under Sunlight Yoga with 2 summer salad recipes that include sprouting. I've been sprouting. It's so easy and cheap to sprout mung beans and lentils. So I put a lentil and a mung bean sprouted summer salad. We got summer solstice coming up. So you're welcome to find it on sunlightyoga.com on the blog, or email me on there. I'll email you it if you don't find it. And it gives you the recipes. It's delicious. One was pomegranate and edamame. You can buy it at a supermarket, and then you just soak mung beans overnight in water, rinse it twice a day, and then you start sprouting. 2 to 3 days later, you've got this sprouting live food. Sprouting has sometimes double or triple or even more antioxidants. You get protein, so many nutrients. So there's so many benefits to sprouting. I just read that like the antioxidant and anti-cancer properties in broccoli sprouts are like huge compared to cooked broccoli. So you can get so many more nutrients from the sprouting versus like the cooked. So lentils, mung beans, the easiest to sprout. Sprinkle them in super salad and you got extra nutrients, and that can give you protein too. So as a vegetarian and vegan, do your research. Nutritionfacts.org, I put in the chat box, is great for research studies and what vitamins and supplements you may or may not need. You want to be smart about it, right? If you're going to shift to healthier eating, you do want to get your energy from good sources to get the nutrients and protein you need, which isn't that hard. It's just taking a little time to educate on it. But there's so many free lectures on YouTube how to do that. And I'm not a nutritionist, but I do, the last one I did, I put it, I do these free talks and I put some up on my YouTube. It's youtube.com/Sunlight Yoga San Francisco. And the last one talked about, people asked about how do you get protein source if you can't eat like lentils and soy. So I put that on there with some ideas of other foods you can eat. Sunlight Yoga San Francisco on YouTube. So I hope this was helpful. I'm responding to your chat, so it's interactive, but only because I can't hear your voice on this online format. It's me talking only. I rather you talk as well and share your feedback, but your questions and comments on chat I appreciate, because that helps us all, and that's why we're here. Try to inspire each other for our community online to improve our well-being and grow and evolve and become more compassionate for animals and ourselves. When we know just what was done in history doesn't mean it's the best for our health or animals. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much. And Bonnie, you're so welcome. And you say always informative. Good. I try to a little different each time depending on who's here and what comes through me. So I don't want it to be boring and the same talk every week. But I do these Monday and Fridays. Look at my name under the profile and you click and it should give you the links for each one. So I hope to see you again and have a wonderful day. And you can do those meditations 30 minutes a day on your own if you want. Get ideas from how I suggested it and then go into more silence. And you can check in every day. How are we mindfully eating, or are we mindfully eating? How's it affecting our energy? And are we in alignment with our values of kindness and compassion? So have a great day. Namaste.